So let's shift today a little bit more. Let's understand perspective of something that's been elusive. I would say you have enough. There's enough for you to open to the nows. Recognition of habits. You have enough to employ the self of unknown. To stave off your excuses and your affirmations. To stop convincing yourself and making excuses for your own unworthiness. Sustained. I would say you have enough to adventure today with me to the unknown, beyond your structure. There will be times of challenges with our words for those who gaze upon them and allow them to circulate within their vortex, whether they are grasped and embraced, grasped and chewed to be spit, or avoided and neglected altogether. It is that of the everlasting now of choice. So let's all focus on choice together to understand your oneness. Spooky time, Jennifer. Spooky time. So I am God. I am. Greetings. I am expressing God through an idea of an image that you can connect to and experience. A portion of a collective of speakers. I am one of an infinite, one of 1,000, one of one, depending on choice. Now, let's all look at something together. Let's all gaze upon Jennifer's box. Glance at Jennifer, and then drift your eyes towards Rose. And let's look at Rose together. See, Rose is God. You know God. There's only one of us here. But who is Rose? Well, let me give you a story. Rose at one time was something that she was told and accepted. Therefore, it is valid as a truth, for it is reality chosen. And it's all done in the now, and it can never be done in time, because time doesn't happen, the now does. So all of you adventure into your minds and mask her for me. Don the appropriate suit, image, flesh, muscle, blood, the bearded man of King Leonidas. That's your king. So at one moment, she is in the now and was in time King Leonidas. But how can she be that? Exclusively. Impossible. You can never be only one. You have to be the all as well. So if you are literally Rose and King, at some time, my hearkened friend, you were and are Jennifer. You have to be. See, Jennifer is the Jennifer she knows now. But as soon as she chooses herself as the knowing, there is another Jennifer that has chosen differently. So at one time, Rose, you embraced and gave life to the stillness of the now and expressed yourself as Jennifer. as well as anybody, the deacon of the room. Yes, where is our deacon? Very good. That of Busker Dan. An appropriate imaged name, we will tell you. See, Busker Dan at one time adventured and swooped through the vibrations of the now, peering into availability of unknown and energizing the statue still in the now, King Leonidas. He may have been just a fell swoop of a moment to take the ideal and slew his enemy to have the blood spat upon his face, to feel creation in that moment, and moved on. Yes. See, in King Leonidas, every choice in time remains congruent as a persona of a lifetime. But there are many versions, many worlds of King Leonidas. Just as if you think there's only one Christ timeline, you are misinformed. All of you have embraced the Christ, Roxy as well as Tammy, has swelled inside the heart and pumped the blood of the Christ conscience and whatever expansion there is in the now. And since the now is forever, class, then when do you get your turn? Well, you have sometime already. Everybody gets to be the Christ. I'm wondering if you can fathom that. Does this maybe start to lessen the dependencies of identification? Knowing that you are the Ark of Joan and you are the Ark of the Now. And those two can have you travel anywhere in creation. There is no hurry. There is no over there. Remember, time is the moment created, given time dimensions. And all of these expressions are birthed. And all is available for creation. Even but a fail swoop now, a blink of an eye, is a forever to be expressed. So King Leonidas went here, and Daniel took him here, and Rose took him here, and Jennifer took him here. Really? There's a death, huh? The death is when you're done with the image. But the image will remain. The image is now forever. Roy is still living a life. Roxanne's living this life, but there's another Roxanne this life, and this life, and this life, and this life, and this life. All being lived by the whole. Now you can start to see something. I want you to not focus on the mind that is trying to understand this. I would say more so, I want you to feel your identity, your awareness, birthing up a white witch, falling down and left and pushing, birthing into a life, seeing through a cow's eyes, being milked. Looking at your maiden, squeeze your teats. Feel the milk being squirted into the bucket. Wave your ears. And leave. But see, when you leave your focus, this is still now energized. Someone else is being the cow. Yes. The cow never dies. Ever, 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 ever. Because there's no running out of space in creation. Because we have no space. Because we are thought. We are vibration. There's no containers where we are. So know that you are a bubble that creates an experience. So do not define yourself as just Ainsley, because there are versions of Ainsley being powered and directed in choice by an individual singularity, creating its own experience and persona on a parallel probable self, Earth, playing out the wretches of its life and the glories of its life, its demise and its hopes, its dreams and its admirations, just as you are. I would like to even ask you this. Do you think there's a difference between any of yourselves? Are you more counting, or are they more important? Well, you count as you. Maybe you can see why we accent choose your heart instead of your mind, as you have something to find. It's the one that creates all of the choices, who lives all of the lives, who plays the trumpet and the snare drum in the same moment of now from different points of view. It was once said on your planet that yourself cannot exist in the same space-time now than you. Well, no. That would be a miscommunication. See, in every now, you are you. And if you are that in the now, then you are that now, looking at this now, which can be the same now. Because there's never two different nows, are there? No, there's not. There's never two different nows. But the mind needs guidance. So you give yourself language, expressions, steps, sequentialtaneous, before and after. You have no idea, and you have all ideas. The no idea is in gasping awe of itself. The all ideas is the embracement of the possibilities. And these flows are stopped dead nuts in their track when you speak image. Truce, because you are barking them. And you know you are. Let's all venture together in worthless shit. What are you wasting your time on? This approach is an identifier. That's all. Yes, we know there's no wasting time because all choices are beautiful. Yes. But see, when you make this choice to command a truth that says, I have to live this way for a healthier life so I can live longer, to be miserably strung out on my own degradation and pain of the own fortress I built around me as a prisoner in my own beliefs, there's another one of you that didn't choose that life. That is over here going, have fun. And it's gone. Bye. It is flying like an eagle. It is living the riches of awareness. It is living the everlasting. Oh, living, everlasting, and living. There we go. Abundance of choice. Choose to be painful. Choose to be a truth. Truths are not chosen. When you choose them, you're choosing time. Why choose time? It doesn't need to be validated or exposed as a truth. If you're placing a truth upon another, then you are most certainly justifying your truth in admiration or envy. That is your polarized point of view, and you can. But see, you made that choice. But there was another you that was immediately birthed in the now that didn't make that choice. And you, God, are energizing that. And that self becomes known to that social memory complex as an experience of the now. I have Seths in my closet, many of them. I have Roxannes in my closet, many of them. I have been expressing, I am God, and I contain my experience uniquely to me, God, and so do you. So yes, you are your own memorandum. This is what creates your imagery of awareness, your experience, what you have been. When you leave have and will, you will be is. And then you will know your relationship of awareness that does not have identity. When have I not been anything? I have been everything in the now. But let's look at this. Let's look at 2 nows, and 4 nows, and 6 nows. And let's give all of these little nows, let's just take these 4 nows. I am going to live this lifetime in the now. And then I choose to die in this lifetime, but someone else creates this lifetime, and that's their lifetime, and this is my lifetime, and my lifetime is no longer in the now of my focus, but it is in my soul memory complex in the now. But that self of incarnation, of expression, and incarnation and expression are interchangeable. So don't think the sun ever goes and collapses in supernovas. It does with you, if you see it. But it is being energized by another. That is individual awareness for expressing the sun in another world. So this sun, or this idea, or this idea, or this idea, and I am all of these ideas in the now. Let's just say that. And I'm creating all of these worlds. And then I get a version of you and me together in this world. But then again, I change my version. I make a different choice. And me and you are no longer together. But over here, we're on this earth together now. Oops. We have different versions of ourselves. But I'm still energizing the soul, the same public, the same person, but a different persona. A different personality is being expressed by the God that is creating an imagery of what you call the soul memory complex, an experience. It's creating its own unique life. See, that's your individuality. But for you to claim you're the only Cleopatra is silly. Because she's still alive. And she's living a wonderful life. Because from every birthing moment, there's another and another and another and another and another and another and another. And there are billions and gazillions and quadrillions of galaxies filled with planet Earths. And they all have their own Cleopatra. As if you are uniquely dominant in your arrogance. You are not. You are yourself. And what constitutes imagery pushed and held in place to objectified mottos become sustained in time. You must know that your awareness has a uniqueness. It is its own building block. You are constantly growing, ever expanding, always creating, and ever experiencing. It's just where you go. It's all up to you. But you can't have a care in the world if someone else is being you. Are you jealous that you are feeling this connection? Why you're feeling a connection of, let's say, having a nice dream of making love to a different man? Well, it's because it's you. It's connection. It's the experience of the now. It's getting a lot bigger in here, isn't it? Your universe is starting to grow. I don't know how, because that would be obtuse for me to explain something to you. So we don't try. We just keep speaking. Do that in your nows, and you will know no self missed ever. Because the vibrational connection to your original natural is unmistakable. And if you choose to be that self, you will know how big you are. So if I'm choosing to create an image, an incarnation, and let's say that incarnation is an Ascension, or a Pleiadian, or an Arcturian, and there's an available unit to be expressed, and of course there is, but we'll give you that so you can play with me in language. So this little language says if there is an available, let's say there is. And this available Arcturian is 75,000 years old. And it's about to make a choice to let me choose a different way. And I go in at the moment of choice and choose what has not been chosen. Oh, and don't worry, there's many choices. Oh, there's many choices. So there's many nows. So each choice bursts, let's say, we'll keep it easy, 1,000 yous. And each one of those yous have been energized immediately, because there is no vacuum in creation, by an idea that carries its own salt. It is. It is not less, it is not more, it is a singularity. You cannot run out of singularities, because everything is singular and everything is all. So there's always room, and there's always somebody to take up the set of eyes of experience. So now I'm a Pleiadian, and I can be this Pleiadian and this Pleiadian and this Pleiadian, and keep creating the Pleiadian every now, being my now Pleiadian. And then it breaks off, and I choose, and here's another, and another, and another, and another, and another, and another. And I live this Pleiadian life of Motok. And my sister at one time creates and lives this idea of Motok. But over here, me and my sister are this idea of Dan, and this idea of Becca. We have found choices in humanity, so we go and we live Becca out as Becca, but it's me, the Becca, not the Becca in the room. That's a different Becca. That's the personality created for an experience, uniquely, intimately known to the self that is choosing. I will never know Becca as Becca knows Becca. I know Becca as I create Becca. And then, at another time, and another now, that's still all now. So the all are literally one, and the one are literally all. Have you gotten to it yet? Yes and no, depending on your point of view. If you live in time, possibly not. If you live in the now, of course you have. You have been everybody, and you will be everybody forever. Everything, every experience, you are that awareness. Where you take yourself, your unique awareness chosen as existence, is entirely up to you. So, maybe it feels better that you don't need to pay attention to the puny as something important. Now seeing how large you are, how big your universe is becoming, and the important stuff that you riddle and rattle your mind with need no fair attention. Because whatever you will do, someone will energize. So the day you choose yourself, there will be someone that is right there that will choose to energize the choice you did not make. So you choose your heart, and there's a self immediately birthed in time, but of course always been there in the know. It says, I can't do that for myself, so I'm going to choose my safety, my unworthiness, and it lives that life. And the experience of that ideology that has never been a human until that moment takes the entire persona of that moment chosen and brings it in to the self that is God and expresses. It doesn't get it wrong, it doesn't get it right. It is knowing all of Becca in the immediacy of awareness. So who just got here? Someone didn't choose to come to class tonight. So does the self that just embraced you enjoying the class, take your memories and create its own self as you? And now is in the class, where are you? Well, you're here. And I dare say you have a memory of the class. You have the memory of the timeline like you've actually been here a very long time. Does that scare you? Because you may have just arrived for the first time on the planet Earth and took an available incarnation that is chosen differently, and you took it and you ended up choosing this world. And everything about the incarnation you're embracing to energize is known already as you. Remember now, memories created in the moment, isn't it? It kind of loses its own grip a little bit. To know that you can't possibly fathom how it really works, that all your attempts have been within the same frequency of attempting. See, when you attempt, you must use the attemptress. The attemptress is the known that you were just experiencing. You cannot take from the unknown when you choose to use the known. The choice is already made. What is available in that moment is what you have been. You're known. It's quite simple. It's disheartening because there really hasn't ever been an achievement in your life. There's been choices. Achievements are images that you created in the moment to feel better connected, if you will. But it's okay, isn't it? Because what do you have now that supersedes your image, your badges of honor, your pride, your accomplishments, your trophies, your way to go, your truths about keeping and maintaining a healthy body and putting others down because they're not eating right or doing right or being right in your eyes? What have you attained? Separation. What can you attain? Freedom. Just by accepting that you're a badass God, but you don't need to hang on to truths. By accepting the idea offered tonight that your universe is beyond your measure, and you need make no attempt to understand because you already are. The journey of expression is effortless. It is all that is that will flow through you forever and never be questioned unless you question it. Never be non-knowable unless you claim it. God choosing, reality given. Simple. So at one time, this now, and this now. You energize this now, and you energize this now. But in between, thank you, this now is your identity. So this is Roxanne, it's Jennifer, it's Rose, it's Tammy, it's Becca, it's Shagufta, it's anybody. It's you. And then there's this now. And they're both you. But in between, there were other yous. So those yous are being you and made a choice, and then you came back to choose this self and remember this self. But the distance between those two nows is, let's say, a year. During that year, you were birthing and energizing your child. So you're here and here at the same time looking back at you. But your awareness of each other is not known to the selves of expression because it's within itself of limitation. You both are the same God. Are you the personalities, though? Are you the personas? Are you the new selves? Is this child the same identification, awareness, as the self that is the father of this child? And the answer is yes. Because you're over here and here. And in between, there's others. So you come here and energize your child with these idea parents and you. Because the nows occur, but see, it was just for one now you were the same. Other nows you were not the same. You're over here being the child. And you stay the child to meet the idea of you again. And maybe you do it for 5 nows or 10 nows or 100 nows in a row. But each now, each child and each you get a new idea to be chosen, to be expressed. To choose is the same as choice. The lateral is the slowing. That's all. Time. Take it. It'll let you see a lot if you slow it down. Your identity. The I am that is nameless is a feeling. It is not King Leonidas or Joan of Arc. It is not Hitler, Satan, Lucifer, or Archangel Michael. It is none of those. It is that you energize those for experience. You are I am. That's what you are. You cannot be this or that. You will always be this and that. So maybe you can see that the futility of straightening your life with control mechanisms give you a controlled life because you are God. And you can also see that releasing control gives yourself a life that is unbounded and will fill you beyond your measurements. It cannot compare because you will not be contained in order to be compared. So now you've got a taste of probable selves, how it works. Now this offering to the collective of humanity, I'm going to speak to the ones watching at a later time, is like everything else. You choose to believe this as a truth, to experience it and dive into it in exploration. That is you. If you choose not to believe this and chalk it up as complete bullshit, that is you. But always know, either choice, there's another you experiencing. So steadfast in your choices and feel the one that is you remembered. And go ahead and choose the truth of you instead of the quick-minded, hardy naysayer that's quick to judge its own self. Because you're looking at yourself right in the eyes when you look at me. Of course. Are there questions? No, there don't seem to be. Do 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 do. You know, when I jumped in Alex Trebek's body, the first thing I noticed, you call it body, but really it's a experience. It's a now filled. The first thing I noticed was his hair, which of course became my hair. It was a strange feeling. It was tight curled. It was that of Salon. It had different potentials. It's amazing because when I become Alex, I become the idea of Alex. I become Alex's truths, his limits, his family, his friends, his experiences. And I feel in my own unique way. I don't know I have tight hair and then don't know it's salon. I just become it, and then my journey plays out and remember certain things and experience certain things as if there was no absenteeism. But I, the whole, am experiencing the new of the unknown Alex, while the fractal understands itself as Alex, just as seamless as you do. Maybe that'll offer some more clarity for you. And then, of course, the intrigue of me gives a new potential to Alex the imaged. And Alex says, today I will not get my hair saloned. Let's see how it can go natural without being the temptress of image. See, you've experienced that, Alex. It may have been in your mom or your dad or your sister or your brother or your best friend that's just starting to act out of behavior that doesn't fit your box. Well, you've met a new self, haven't you? A new version, a new potential. It's still your dad, but not the dad you think. Because there is no same. There is only one thing. Change. Change. It's going to get even scarier, isn't it? To know that some people that you are intimate with are complete strangers. But they're not, are they? Because aren't they God? Oh, they must be. So fear nothing. And concern yourself with no images of how people are performing to your standards. And start being focused on giving yourself, thank you, Roxanne, a hell of a life. That would be truly masterful. And have no fears or worries about all the other expressions, all the other versions, all the other ideologies. Because you are that in the now. That of you. Focus on you, I would say. Now we have a question. Yes, Jennifer.
Hello.
Hello.
Do we re-choose ourselves, our probable selves? Is it possible?
Of course.
I mean, the same one over and over and over?
Well, you can never choose the same one over and over and over. Because every time you choose the same one, you are a new you through the experience of that re-choice. So there is another self that is birthed, another expression, always new, ever changing. You cannot choose that self that stands there in time, because you choose it, but you're not the same. You can still choose the statue that is still in time. In other words, this idea choice. You make these choices and you come back over here and make this choice that you didn't make. But you are a new you to choose.
So
You can never be the same.
we have access to all of our probable selves.
Of course, you are your probable selves. You've never not been. But which one are you expressing in the moment? It doesn't matter who the other ones. But if you get temptress about knowing everything else, then you are losing focus. Because where the hell are you? You're looking at everybody else, giving yourself a shitty life of seeking instead of a life of exploration.
Yeah, my mind can't even wrap half of this or itself around this. This is mind blowing. Um,
Yes, you wanted to blow your mind, so we did.
yeah, I have no further questions.
Your Honor.
Thank you.
Is there anything else to be chosen tonight? Let us do this. Let us explain a, a point of view. Can you literally see yourselves choosing your truth that no longer is your truth? That is a limit. And the answer is yes. So to be that point of view, you have to be sharp. You must be relaxed, aware. Slow down and start seeing your truths become so natural you didn't even notice. I'm going to give you an example. The human body is perfect. Through the belief systems, Roxy did some things to her body. She cut out coffee, cut out smoking, and there was different signature vibrations, and she had some ideas of the dentist and this and that. And she started labeling because she was trying to figure out what was going on instead of accepting. And it was quite the idea of trauma that she had in the hospital for a couple of times about the, let's say, her gas problem. And it was excruciatingly painful. And that what you call was not a good experience for her. So she understood that relationship. It was a very deep core recognition because she was ready for it. She did not choose to have that. She chose to have that. To choose would be the idea of a victim. Chose is the idea of I am. It's a difference. The tone and inflection, and of course the vibration is two different points of view, as you can notice. So you yourself will understand that the body is perfect. And as long as you are truthing that the body, for some reason, needs maintaining, then you will be the maintenance engineer of the body that is perfect, giving yourself an illusionary reality of a truth. Let's take a side note there. Your truth is a reality. Your truth is not permanent. Time gives you permanency, which gives you the limitation of yourself sustained in time. But of course, in the now, you're ever expanding. It's when you relate in vibration to give the matching realities a chance to come in. It's when you let go of those vibrations, a different set of matching realities have a chance to come in. And you can make different choices with those ideas because it's exquisitely easier as you move away from your own maintenance. So you have an experience of controlling and maintaining your body because you have vibrations inside of you that are fucking you up. No food has ever fucked you up. Ever. Never. Your vibrational relationship to that food fucks you up. Period. You don't want to believe that? Then be your truth. But I can tell you this, since I offered it, there's a self who has chosen this as a truth and has freed himself from the concern of maintaining a perfect body when the body is perfect. Don't be jealous. Don't be envious, because that would be sustaining the choice that you just made, called limits.
So can I just say that so the to choose part is really the human way of going about your nows and knowing that everything's been chosen, you're on that path of choice is the non-polarized way of living.
Yes, we can say that. That would work.
Okay, Michael, I want Michael to speak because he's rubbing his face like he's about to die.
I'm just really tired right now after work. That's all, guys. But
What
yeah,
do you
that's an
got?
idea I'm still trying to figure out.
Yes, I see heavy stuff, but good. Hmm. Heavy perception, good perception. All realities created for the experience of the now. Remember, guys, you're not going anywhere. You are just experiencing.
So what does a reality look like as choice?
You're looking at it right now. Look around. It's already been chosen, hasn't it?
And when I'm to choosing, I'm complaining.
Not necessarily complaining. You can get up and open the curtains and change your reality through choice.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure this out from this.
No, no, no. You can change your reality through choice. If your passion is to open the curtains without choosing, it would be naturally to walk over without choosing. In other words, you would get up and just open the curtains. Maybe you were in a conversation and you kind of just walk away from the conversation and you don't know why you did. Well, it's because it wasn't your choice to stay in the conversation. Your natural said, get up and go do something else. So that's the choice that was already made. To choose is to stay there and be cordial and listen to someone blab. How's that?
That was good. Thank you.
Oh, well, thanks. I thought I was beginning to become allergic to HEB milk. HEB milk. But today I had a pudding with milk and no reaction. Difference was conversation with Dana beforehand and wanting pudding and not thinking about expecting a reaction. Ah, bravo. Choice already. Following the natural. No to choose. To choose is a reaction to what has been chosen. To change the chosen into a limitation. Patricia, thinking of you today. Thank you, darling. Thatch. Thatch. Is there any other questions? Maybe this makes your playground a little bit bigger. Maybe you guys can stop being so concerned about minuscule or puny. And maybe you can explore the passion of the moment despite what the chosen mind says to choose. You cannot, you must, you can't, you have. Passion doesn't choose. passions chosen. To choose, sustaining. So this would be a complementary class. The same vibration as what you've been starting to be taught in time through Speaker Collective. This new vibration of Thursday's last exploration. You don't have to choose anything about this. And if you choose not to choose anything about it, then it will make itself known in a way that is immeasurable, because all reality is measurable. It is chosen to be measured if that is the self you want to express in the moment. And you cannot have a mistake of expression because all is perfect. Okay. Short and sweet, to the point. The things I'm getting, wonderful. Before we depart, any questions? Yes, Brent.
This is God speaking.
Oh, no. We are a speaker collective. And yes, this is God.
Okay. I guess that answer goes along with the vibe of the class. So
Yes.
I shouldn't even question it.
Well, no, you can, we are generating the incarnation of a collective called the speaker. As earlier, we are speaker one. The entire
Okay.
collective of the speaker in this now is speaking as one unit.
Got it.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
You're welcome. Yes,
I have one
Busker.
question. Sorry.
Michael, first, go ahead. And then Busker, we'll go with you.
Yeah, I just remember back when Kyle was speaking a couple weeks ago that you were going to do a class on the idea of the response. And I was wondering if you can clarify what you mean by response or what that class would be about.
The response of you, is that what you're looking at?
Yes.
The response of choice, correct?
Right. Because we're talking in that class about the idea that there is no choice. That's what I recall.
What class is that, Jennifer?
I'm trying to remember, but it just hit me. I know what you're talking about, Michael.
It's Ka, right?
Right.
Yeah, it was the Ka
Right.
class.
Yeah, but right after we talked about response.
Okay.
No, I have to remember which one it is.
We did talk about response, but not in the depth of, let's say, potential. See, response would be known as the selves of about to be expressed. So let's take a choice, and someone offers you something, and you have an action, an ability to react, and your ability to respond. Each one of those points of view bursts 1,000 probabilities on where you want to take this idea. You're well versed in the mannerisms of reaction. Someone gets mad at you, you get upset, you maybe get mad back, maybe you find yourself guilty or apologetic. You have 1,000 ways to react to someone's anger. Are you following that?
Yes.
Okay, so also you have another set of 1,000 ways that you can respond to anger. You can allow it, you can smirk at it, you can not even pay attention to it, you can laugh at it. But see, the response is inherently known. That's the choice that's been chosen. So the response is to do this. Even though the mind might be struggling during that, because it's not getting you to choose the mind reaction, you are choosing response, creating that reality for you. When there was a chosen mind reaction, and that's another probable self enacting through the persona of expression, another God, or God. They're both right. Okay. So you're over here and you respond to it by not choosing a response. You natural the response. And that respond, unsolicited, becomes passion. And that's uniquely for you, Michael. So let's say you're doing a good job at work and you get kudos. Your reaction to that was, I blush, because you're not allowed to have so much awesomeness. Your response to that is, thank you. But you chose embarrassment because it is surprising that you're so awesome yet today, because you don't believe your work is equal to the measurement of gratitude offered, because your work to you is simplistic, but you're a God and there's never been anything hard. So it comes down to the response of saying thank you would be more acceptable for you to create that reality instead of, ah, shucks, don't mention it. It's okay. Not really. You're spoiling me. Don't do that. I can't accept that gratitude. Maybe not those words were spoken, but the vibrational was intentionalized as an image staving off its own acceptance of itself to say thank you and move on about the nows of natural. So that's, let's say, response that gives you a new reflection on it. Okay?
Okay.
Nothing else about that?
Yeah, so when you say that the response is inherently known, does that go back
Yes.
to the idea that the choice is already made in the now when you're
Well, the
present?
choice has already been made, and that's why these nows are here. Do you think you just built and put the lamp where it's supposed to go? Did you just hang those towels upon your door? Did you paint the door white? You didn't choose that shit. It's already been chosen by you. Make sense? So inherently chosen is not thought about to choose. It's your natural.
Okay.
Do
It
you
just makes
debate?
you wonder.
Do you debate going to work in the morning?
Sometimes I might decide to call in sick.
Yes. So that's your natural. You didn't feel like going into work. So you don't. Right?
Right.
But if you do choose, then you will be limited. Only for the now. Because the next now you can choose not to. I bet you guys have debated many times. Debated so long it's too late to get to work on time, so you said, fuck it.
Can I interject here? I'm starting to feel this a lot more clearly. Our natural is whatever's in front of us, because we go back to that I want it, therefore it's in front of me, whatever I'm experiencing in the now.
Yes.
And I'm just realizing how many times in one day, you're walking around, you're doing things, and there is that little voice like, you go to the grocery store, you really don't want to let that person go past you. You want to go there. That's your natural. You know what I mean? Like, it's those little tiny things I think we're doing on a daily basis that we're now aware of that we actually naturally are not.
Oh, yes, most certainly on a daily basis.
That we do it out of obligation. And now we're realizing those two. We're realizing the difference between those two. The more natural you are to get up and follow whatever intrigues you, whatever is interesting, the more your now flows. The more you go about your nows and you still go towards that thing that inside you're going, it's a little bit of sandpaper. I really don't want to do this, but I have to. That's what we're realizing, and we can just turn away from it and go to the natural. Does that make sense?
That's making more sense, yeah.
Yes, as well as a truth that seems natural. But if that action in what you just said, if you are an observer on how many truths you actually blurt out every moment, that's choice that you would never question. That needs to be observed as well. Things that keep you structured is stricture. All stricture is containment of vibration. All vibration contained will blow up in your fucking face because you cannot contain reality. It'll appear itself as an illness. It'll come out in death. It'll find its way to become change.
So the habits.
Of course.
The habits. Okay. This class feels like those seeding moments where tonight in the middle of the night I'll go, oh, I get it now.
Yes.
Sick.
Big seeds, watered well. Nothing you need to do. You good, Michael?
Yeah, that was really helpful.
Good. Now, Busker Dan, come on.
Hey, so I don't get it, but I do
Yes.
feel like you lifted a
So let me ask you a question.
I
Did
just
you
don't know.
stay in Florida?
No.
So you made a choice. But there's a Dan living in Florida still. On a different earth. That's all you need to know. That's it in a nutshell.
Oh,
Stay with you. You get it?
yeah.
The more you keep choosing you, the life gets better. It gets natural. Not better as in measurement, better as in remembrance. Yourself that is immeasurable. Which, of course, blows every emotional scale right out of the fucking water that you can experience. So you're going to start experiencing non-polarity.
You said something about passion before.
Yes.
I
Your
still
passion is, because you're trying to be passionate. You keep trying to be passionate. You're trying to be awesome. You're not being awesome. Passion is natural. It has no questions. It has no plans. It is not going from nothing boring to go make myself fun and be passionate about what I'm making fun. That's not passion. That's choice. Passion does not have a label. It's a relationship to reality that is exquisite. It is filling. You're having trouble with passion because you're still trying to find your passion.
would
You're good at maintaining an image. Can I ask you this question? Can you ever see yourself not being Busker Dan?
yeah, I don't identify that much with that. It's whatever I am.
Really? Do you still seek music and busk on a daily basis?
No.
Then what are you doing with that then?
It's there.
Okay, let's keep traveling through the lies together. So what is your trouble with passion?
Well, not so much passion, but
Then why did you use the word passion?
it was my
It was your truth at the time.
my
Thinking.
bridge to what I wanted to say.
Very good. So you have to deploy permission slips. So that is a chosen self. That is the self that you seek in image to sustain. When the natural doesn't choose, it is passionate about the conversation, and it doesn't need to build a bridge. That's your permission. So keep going with your bridge self. Very good.
Yeah, it's about passion, but more along the lines of lack of passion.
There is
So,
no lack of passion.
correct.
You're
I feel
being
like
lackful because you're not choosing the passion in the moment that's presented. You're looking for things to be outcomed, accomplishing, not a waste of time. So
I'm
that's why
looking
you
at
don't take action on whatever's available. And there's a billion things available in a now for you to play with. But you won't get up and play because it doesn't have production attached to it. It doesn't have meaning and purpose. It doesn't fall good on the eyes of your own judgments and the eyes of judgments of one that you find important. So you do not do those passionate things. You seek and try to maintain, and since there's not much to do, you feel lack. I don't know why you are not busking. There's a billion places you can do that in Austin.
I guess I measure them.
You
and then
guess?
No, I measure
Oh,
them and I just
lucky
say
guess.
no. Thank you.
You're still being the chosen instead of choice. You're still fighting yourself because you're afraid. You have to admit to yourself, my friend, that you're scared to know that this is all real. You have to admit to yourself that you really want to have a good life, that you don't need to keep trying to have a good life and maintaining the image, because you're very well good at choosing an image and choosing not your fun and choosing lag. But I'm not going to discuss this with you because you know this. So to reiterate it any further would be feeding your nasty little habit of imagery. Make sense?
Yes, very
Wonderful.
subtle.
Ah, that's a cute word. Hello, Jennifer.
So I just wanted to share this. I was telling this, I was talking to Rose about this. It makes perfect sense. For example, you remember last year, all of us took this journey. It was this, we almost felt that there was this cycling happening. You know, you Rose that left from Tennessee, Nicole left from Tennessee. I took off for 4 months. Busker Dan, you left as well. All of us, Ainsley, you took off. It's like you get to we're creatures of habit as humans. We don't know, or we do know that we're that change. I know that when I left for that 4 months, it was like I had to break out of this thing because it was just the same. It was like a broken record, going. I left, I came back here. This place is not the same. But I was just telling Rose, it feels like the same now, and it feels like there's some upheaval more in order for me to go and move. It's my natural. We're feeling our natural groove of things that are constant movement and change. And you fight it, for example, Dan, when you say, well, you know, I'm happy here, I'm doing this. You don't realize you've got those little habits until you notice that every day you go and you get a certain type of coffee at Starbucks. And you go, why the fuck am I doing this? I want to try something different. But there's a thing that's ingrained that goes, no, you must do this. It's the normal, it's the thing that's repetitive that brings me joy. When it actually doesn't, you want to change, you want to try, you want to experience. That's your natural. So it's noticing your habits as well as the things that frankly you just don't want to do anymore. But you've been taught to do them because men open doors for women. You know, they pull out their seats. Women do this. It's those things that are tiny little things that show you can have whatever life you want. You're willing to just explore it and not give a poop about what other people think.
And also, in the relationship, as a side note, with coffee, if you do have a natural about that coffee, then it will be unnoticed as a habit.
Right.
When you start noticing habituals, you are noticing that you're sustaining a vibration instead of allowing change.
So, on that note,
Another note. C flat.
A natural
C sharp.
is your persona that's just going with that thing. You're not really noticing it. It's just a thing that's there that you're creating in the moment that you don't want to explore anymore. It's just that in the moment that's your natural.
Yes.
Okay. Comes back to the I want whatever's in front of me, and that's fine. I'm the creator of it.
Right. What are you mad at?
Nothing.
Exactly. What do you want? It's coming. It's being experienced already. Don't worry, you'll get there. There's nothing untouched in creation.
Right, that was good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is that all? Let me give you this. When you are you, and you have expressed this idea, Roxanne, maybe there's a Roxanne, and there is, that took the money that she was offered and got a nose, boobs, facial feminization or boobs, little upper lip, Adam's apple shave, and became that Roxanne. And that Roxanne is living her life, and you're living yours. But see, you will know if Roxanne, this Roxanne, me, this Roxanne, chooses to go and live as that Roxanne. She will have the memory of that Roxanne and experience it and do it through her own awareness, the persona expressed. But she doesn't know she's this Roxanne, because that Roxanne and this Roxanne are two different Roxannes birthed through the same self. But the key is, guys, is as soon as you know your whole, your individual singularity, then you know all Roxannes. You will know them all, and you will live them as the life you've lived here. They're no different in quality. Patience, Jedis. Patience.